Dear DC, we do not want standalone villain movies. So if you've missed the news this last week, DC has announced that they're making a standalone Joker movie. This movie wouldn't take place in the same universe as all the other DC movies, so that means no Jared Leto. But that also means that it doesn't have anything to do with all these movies that we're watching right now. No Ben Affleck Batman, no Henry Cavill Superman, no Harley Quinn, Deadshot, none of the characters that we've already established. And I can't help but wonder why. Who wants this movie? Does anyone really want to know how the Joker came to be? We've already had this movie. It was called Batman. It came out in 1980. We got to see Joker's origin story, and better yet, we got to see Joker's origin story, and then we got to see him go head-to-head with Batman. Who wants to see a Joker movie without Batman? That's the whole point of the Joker. That's what makes him interesting. He's the perfect villain, the perfect foil to go head-to-head with Batman. He's the exact opposite of Batman in every single way, which is what makes him interesting in Batman movies. In addition to this, they've announced 4 other standalone DC villain movies, among them being a Black Adam movie, a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, Gotham City Sirens, which would be about Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman gallivanting around the city, and Suicide Squad 2. Of all these movies, the only one I want is Suicide Squad 2. The reason for this is because that one has an interesting concept. While the first one wasn't great, the concept of what if you get a bunch of bad guys and then force them to work for the good guys is an interesting concept. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see a movie that's completely focused on the Joker, or Black Adam, or Harley Quinn, or Catwoman, or Poison Ivy. Why? Not because they're not interesting characters, but because what makes them so interesting is seeing how they go head-to-head with the protagonists of these stories as the antagonists. They all prove to be interesting foils for our main heroes. And suddenly when you take an antagonist and put them in a protagonist role, well, now you need a new antagonist. Who's Joker gonna go head-to-head with? You could potentially do something interesting with Harley Quinn becoming reformed and going head-to-head with the Joker, maybe. Make an attempt to make these bad guys into the good guys, which robs them of what makes them interesting in the first place. What makes Harley Quinn such an interesting character is that she's under the thrall of a psychotic maniac. It's heartbreaking. If she suddenly gets her life in order and is no longer attached to the Joker, well, why is her story interesting anymore? Great, happy ending. She moves on. She gets a normal life back, and she's no longer in an abusive relationship. Why would she continue to wear clown makeup? Why would she continue to be Harley Quinn as we know her? Well, she wouldn't. She'd go back to being just a normal human being, which would be great in a real-life situation, but for a movie without that conflict, there's nothing interesting. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have interesting stories with these characters, but what I'm saying is, I want these interesting stories coupled with a really good superhero movie. I don't just want to see a Joker origin story, I want to see Joker go head-to-head with Batman. I don't want to see a Joker and Harley Quinn love story, I want to see a Joker and Harley Quinn love story in a Batman movie, with Batman trying to save Harley Quinn, trying to help her turn her life around. I don't want to see a movie where Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn are running around the city saving people. I want to see a movie where Batman is fighting against these 3 incredibly deadly threats. And what on earth would a Black Adam solo movie look like? Black Adam is most interesting because he's the exact opposite of Shazam. He's someone with the same powers who uses them to become a tyrant as opposed to a little boy who uses them to help people. It's a really cool dynamic. Now, I'm not saying that all these movies have no hope of being good at all. That's certainly not true. You can take just about any concept and with enough work, turn it into something worthwhile. No, my biggest problem with these movies is the fact that they're taking time and attention away from the movies that we do want. For years, I've wanted to see a Flash movie, or a really good Green Lantern movie. No, a really good Green Lantern movie. Or how about a Cyborg movie? Or Martian Manhunter? Or a good sequel to Man of Steel that doesn't involve him brooding with Batman for 2 hours? Or how about just a sequel to Suicide Squad where they do the story correctly? There's so many good characters in the DC universe that deserve their own adaptations. Why are we going back again and again and again to these same villains, these antagonists, and making them the protagonists of their own stories? DC has already proven that they're not very good at making villains the main characters. They want to make them too sympathetic. Every single character in Suicide Squad constantly talks about how horrible they are, how they're the bad guys, but they never really do anything all that terrible. They don't seem like cruel, callous people. The movie turns them into the superheroes. And I don't really want to see Joker become the hero of his story. He's a sick, psychotic maniac. Same with Black Adam. I want to see Black Adam get stopped by Shazam. I don't want to see him be the protagonist of his own movie. Any great story that they may come up with for one of these standalone villain movies would work better in a superhero movie. Got an amazing Black Adam story? Cool. Have that be one of the plots in a Shazam movie. We already know that an origin story for the Joker in a Batman movie works great. We've seen it done twice now. Harley Quinn might have an interesting storyline, but I feel it would be better used in a Batman movie. That way, in your Batman movie, you have Batman going through one thing, but you also have interesting villains to cut away to. At the end of the day, all I really want is really good superhero movies with really good stories attached to them. And a part of having a good story is having a good villain. And if you're giving these villains their own movies, you're robbing these superhero movies of great antagonists, and therefore making these movies nowhere near as good as they could be. So please, DC, stop investing so much time into trying to recreate the success of Suicide Squad. Stop trying to make movies about Black Adam because The Rock is popular, or Joker because he's a popular character, or Harley Quinn because she's a popular character. Instead, just make really good superhero movies and have really great villains with really great storylines be a part of that. Because for every great villain, you need a great hero. And for every great hero, you need a good villain. So please, don't rob our favorite heroes of their villains. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you appreciated this video. Do you agree, disagree? Feel free to comment below and let me know. If you want to see more, please hit subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.